These are the top 5 most brutal scenes in Clown in a Cornfield. I know there's a lot of fun and creative unalivings in this, but there must only be 5. And if you don't like my list, Friendo's gonna appear at your doorstep. I'm gonna start off with some honorable mentions because I liked a lot of the unalivings in this movie. So up first for an honorable mention, we have Tucker. The reason why he's not in my top 5 is because I feel like a lot of the other unalivings are more brutal than this. But the build up to this scene alone can easily put this into my top 5. Like, I was heavily debating on if I wanted to put it in my top 5 or not. Like, he really thought it was Matt just pranking him, his best friend pranking him, but nah, because when that built up, he was cooked. Friendo does not play around, and he showed up in that mirror and just sliced and diced. I'm also putting Trudy as an honorable mention because having that steel pipe go right through her stomach would just not feel good. Like, yeah, she's cooked. The last honorable mention is gonna have to go to DJ here, all the way to the right, because this guy did not deserve anything. Like, why? This man just comes out of the barn drunk and happy and goes, "Oh, it's Friendo over there. What's up, man?" Up, sniped, forehead, donezo. And that bottom picture is what it led to. Poor DJ. Coming into the fifth spot, we have the opening unaliving with Tyler. This man thought he was gonna get some play, and he followed a girl in the cornfield, and yeah, it was wraps from there. Ran in the cornfield, saw his girl just get sliced from a scythe, and he got the same treatment. This man was so down bad, he chased a girl in the cornfield, and Friendo was waiting. His big ass fucking shoes and just, oh my god, scythe, literally put him up in the air like a scarecrow. Like, do you see that? He's all the way up there. But he's hitting the surf's up. He's hitting the Superman. Fourth spot, we're putting Ronnie, the girl in the middle, because she pretty much had the same treatment as number 5. But it was much worse. Because once the whole squad was trying to escape, they had to go through the cornfield once again. And she was leading the pack, and I'm sorry to say this, but you just don't lead there. You sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Because when she was running through the cornfield, a chainsaw just took her by surprise. Not only that, but the chainsaw just lifted her up, and it was gush from there. You could just hear the bones cracking and the blood just swirl into the chains. Like, my god, let me drink some of that. Number 3, we have the bench unaliving, because this scene was probably the most creative out of the bunch. No, scrap that, because number 1's just insane. But just imagine for a second if you're Matt right here. Benching 225, by the way. That's really nice. He also thinks it's a prank because his whole friend group does that shit. So he goes, watch this, because this guy has like no brain cells. He's just strong, you know? Goes up and down a couple times, and Friendo appears. But instead of Friendo just ripping ass on his forehead, he decapitates him, dude. He's struggling for his life with 225 in his hands, and Friendo just slices and dices his neck, man. On top of all that, the head goes in a cooler so he can have it for dinner later, you know? This right here honestly changed everything for me for the rest of the movie. My oh my, what up, Otis? You probably had the most gruesome death here. No one wants to go through that. A falling steel beam to the dome piece as you witness it just falling down to your head. No, man, that's just not nice. That death had my jaw literally on the floor. You know how heavy that thing is, dog? Just straight up squished him like an ant. Now, coming into the first spot, we have the sheriff death, because this was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. This unaliving was so good, which all has to do from the GOAT Quinn. And by the way, Katie Douglas is a star. But dude, she faked the sheriff out so hard. She dresses up as Friendo, hides in this room, and waits for the time to attack. And once she attacks his sheriff, oh my, no way. Like, that was insane. She uses an electric cattle prod into the sheriff's fucking mouth. I didn't know the sheriff swung that way, but he's a glizzy gobbler. But I will say, feeling that shockwave down the throat, all the way through your bones, your body, your flesh, oh my, dude, that would be horrible. And that's why Quinn is gonna be the final girl to stay. Katie Douglas will be here to stay for that unaliving alone. And it's genuinely one of the best unalivings of the year so far. Clown in a Cornfield is a must-see in theaters, and if you have seen it, let me know your top 5 most brutal scenes in this movie.